Well, Michael, we are at the end of the show.
We're pretty much at the end of the show, but I think that we should take a little bit of time just to mention this one thing because of how crazy. So we were at Red Hat Red Hat Summit all week, and we missed a lot of stuff. Well, but we got to see a lot of cool stuff at the summit. But there was some news that came out that's just like, what? And that is Microsoft announcing that WSL is going open source. And you're like,
what?
I'm still what?
Yeah.
What?
What?
And it's kind of interesting. It's interesting to see them doing this, and mad respect to Microsoft for finally doing something that isn't making people cringe constantly. Yeah. So that's good. However, it's not completely open source. There are things that are still proprietary.
Come on, Windows.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to have proprietary blobs in there somewhere.
Yeah, it's a Microsoft thing. Of course it is. So like some DLLs and some other like exe files and whatever are not going to be completely open, but it is what it is. Not everything. We wouldn't have expected them to do it anyway. That would have blown our minds completely in that sense. We wouldn't even need these chips to do it. We wouldn't need Elon's chips to do that. But but these are it's really cool to see it happening anyway, because Microsoft open sourcing stuff is great. But here's the thing, Microsoft, if you really want to truly prove that you have turned a new leaf, you don't have to open source it. Just make Excel and the rest of Office work on Linux and we're good.
Yeah, just make it work on there. That would be you did it for Apple. Well, arguably your biggest competitor, but you won't.
And we're supposed to be buddies, Microsoft. We're supposed to be buddies.
You have signs that say you heart Linux. So
exactly.
Microsoft makes its money because of Linux.
Yeah.
You were at the Red Hat Summit. I mean, you're supposed to be our buddies.
A big booth there too,
Yeah.
This was very cool. I appreciate the fact that they're open sourcing stuff. I think this helps them, obviously, because now they can get a lot more people who are going to work on, customize, and improve WSL. They've taken it a long way from where it started back in 2016. For those not aware, WSL is basically now a Linux kernel inside of essentially Windows system. So you can stay in Windows and still run a Linux kernel. And with some modifications and a lot of setting changes and stuff, you can get GUI applications to even run using WSL2, which came out in 2019. So, it used to be, I think, just a virtual machine, essentially. Kind of like
it was an emulation.
Now there's a whole kernel in there, which, is an improvement.
Yeah. And, they did also open source their text editor, Edit. So you could configure autoexec.bat and config.sys now using open source.
Nobody wants to use Edit for that.
Brian, this is great. We need another text editor.
That's what I've been saying. Like, if Linux really is serious about taking over the desktop, we need another text editor. What the heck? Finally.
Yeah, about time. Now we can have Microsoft Edit versus Emacs versus Vim versus Nano versus Micro versus Pico versus Sublime Text versus
I'm impressed you've been able to name
VS Code versus I guess we could still have Atom as Atom RIP versus versus Kate versus Kwrite versus Gedit
Xedit
versus Xedit. There you go.
Yeah.
Notepad++. Did you get that
Joe
one?
is another
Notepad++ is basically just on Windows, but I think you can do it in a Snap or something. But there's also Notepad dash, and there's also Notepad QQ, and then there's also just regular Notepad if you have, or LeafPad as well.
Yeah.
There's quite a few, I think. I'm probably missing some, but I think I nailed most of them.
Listen, here's some life advice. I'm going to give a life tip here. Put down your text editor and live in the moment. Stop always having to have the text editor in your face, ruining every moment when you go to concerts, when you're going to events, you're sitting there with your text editor out. Put it away and live in the moment. That's the life
Some
tip.
people are at these concerts and these events, and they're having their phone out to record it, to record a thing that they'll never watch ever again. And just experience it. But for those who have the text editor, actually mad respect. If you could do something with a text editor while at these kinds of things, mad respect. Don't listen to Ryan.
You see someone at a concert typing in. Chris from Jupiter.
They're running Git pull, and like, while
he pulled Vim out on his phone. So when we were at the ball game, so that's pretty impressive. There, he's got Vim everywhere he goes. He was taking notes for his show right there.
I mean, he was using Nano, I think.
Was it Nano?
I'm pretty sure it was Nano.
Yeah, he likes Nano.
Yeah. He's a Nano purist.
Rookie.
Refined beginners.
I'm Vim for life. You know what I mean? Vim for life.
That's because you can't get out of it. Once you're in, you're stuck.
You can't get out, so you're there for life. That's how it works.